Venerable Nun Th recounts a true story at TL Monastery. Around 1978, an incident occurred at our monastery that gave everyone a chilling lesson about rebirth and karma. If this had happened before 1975, newspapers would certainly have sensationalized it for profit, and our monastery would have been heavily affected by crowds of curious visitors coming to verify the reports. However, because the incident took place during a tense period for temples, and because our monastery was located in a remote mountainous area, hardly anyone knew about this rare. The person involved is now a nun in her 30s, a university graduate currently pursuing postgraduate studies in SG. One day, while she returned to visit her root temple, TL Monastery on the road to KD's tomb, we met, and in a moment of openness, she told me her life story. TTG, her Dharma name when she first entered the monastery, was, around 1978, a female student at the Pedagogical University in City H, about to graduate. Her family knew nothing about Buddhism. She lived in a university dormitory because her home was far away in the countryside. One day, she returned home and stayed in a small room, studying late into the night for her upcoming graduation exams. In the middle of the night, suddenly a large snake crawled through the window into her room. She screamed, waking the entire household. Her father jumped up, grabbed a wooden bar, rushed toward the snake, and immediately killed it. Not long afterward, he suddenly lost all appetite, stopped eating and drinking, and lay bedridden for months, growing weaker by the day. Taken to the hospital, doctors could not diagnose any illness, so he returned home to lie there until he passed away. The girl returned to her dormitory, and while taking exams, she received news of her father's death. She rushed home at midday, running straight along the road for nearly 20 kilometers, yet strangely, she encountered no obstacles or accidents. Her father had already been prepared in a sealed coffin, waiting for her return before the funeral, according to an astrologer's chosen time. She stormed into the house, pushed everyone aside, and rushed toward the coffin. Using her bare hands, she tore off the bindings, opened the lid, threw aside all burial coverings, and exposed the corpse's face. Then, with all 10 fingers, she scratched and tore the face apart before running out to the road, laughing loudly and shouting, "I have taken my revenge. I have repaid both debts." Everyone was too shocked to react in time. They had thought she was grieving and wanted to see her father one last time. But her actions were so swift and violent that no one could stop her. Several strong men tried to restrain her but were thrown aside by her unnatural strength. Then, a spirit spoke through her mouth, reciting a long poem that revealed the following story. In a previous life, she had been a married man who committed adultery and even murdered his wife. The wife died with deep resentment and was reborn as a snake. The man, due to his karma, was reborn in this life as the girl. The girl's somewhat masculine features perhaps reflected impressions from that past life. The snake had come to kill her for revenge, but instead was killed by her father. The spirit of the betrayed woman, now the snake, entered the girl's body and forced her to destroy her father's face. When she regained consciousness and learned what she had done, she was devastated. From then on, her family's situation deteriorated. The vengeful spirit not only possessed her intermittently, but also caused all family members to behave erratically after the father's death. During memorial ceremonies, even the chanting monk would shudder as the entire family, kneeling behind him, suddenly burst into eerie laughter. The girl dropped out of school and stayed home, praying for 3 nights, burning incense under the open sky, begging any spiritual being to resolve her karmic entanglement. She had never known Buddhism. Her sincere prayers reached a meditation master in the formless realm. This master entered her body and instructed her brother to take her to TL Monastery to seek ordination. Though her family knew nothing of the monastery, she insisted, and then dragged her brother along, running nearly 20 kilometers to the temple. Upon arrival, while her brother prostrated desperately, begging the abbot for help, the girl stood calmly, smiling at him. The abbot glared and commanded,
"Kneel down."
The spirit inside her resisted, smiling defiantly. Only when the abbot raised a mulberry wood staff and shouted again did she slowly kneel, saying, "I kneel before you only to help liberate this woman." The being speaking through her was revealed to be a meditation master who had passed away 200 years earlier, residing in the formless realm. Moved by her prayers, he wished to guide her into monastic life to resolve karmic ties spanning 500 years between her and the snake. The abbot agreed and sent her to a nearby nunnery under my teacher's guidance. When conscious, she remembered nothing of these events. Due to the invisible pressure of the meditation master, she repeatedly requested to leave university for ordination, but was refused. Eventually, a strange phenomenon occurred. Whenever she entered the school gate, she became mute and could not speak until leaving. Witnesses confirmed this, and she was allowed to withdraw due to mental illness. Back at the monastery, she trained like other novices. However, the snake spirit still occasionally possessed her, scolding her for lax practice or impure thoughts. Each time, her body was punished by my teacher. One day, after being beaten, the girl knelt and cried, "Master, you have wronged me." It is she who had thoughts of leaving the path. I only disturbed her to keep her practicing and resolve our karmic debt. My teacher said to the spirit, "I will give you refuge. Follow the Buddha, not her. Will you agree?" "Yes, yes, that is wonderful. Please grant me refuge as well." My teacher performed the ceremony of taking the 3 refuges for both the girl and the spirit possessing her body. The spirit was given the Dharma name TTN, while the girl received the Dharma name TTG. From then on, the girl was able to practice peacefully without further disturbance. Much later, one night after evening meditation, the girl suddenly ran into my teacher's quarters while she was in deep meditation. "Who is it, TTN or TTG?" the teacher asked. "I am TTN," came the reply. The attendant nearby felt chills. My teacher calmly said, "I told you to leave her alone. Why do you still follow her?" The spirit replied joyfully, "I no longer follow her. I came to bring good news. I have found a place to be reborn." "Thank you, Master." After that, the spirit never returned. After hearing the nun recount this story, at the time of telling it, the girl had already become a fully ordained bhikkhuni. I gained several valuable insights for spiritual practice. First is the illusory and temporary nature of gender, whether male or female, and even of beings such as humans or animals. When obscured by ignorance, men become infatuated with women and vice versa, without realizing that these 2 elements are not fixed or inherently real. Through the cycle of rebirth, each person has countless times taken on a male body and at other times a female one. Therefore, both the pride of being male and the inferiority felt in a female form are groundless. Moreover, within each person already exist both masculine and feminine elements. Neither is lacking. It is precisely this imagined sense of deficiency that gives rise to countless social and psychological problems. Second, not only are male and female illusory, but the distinction between humans and animals is also interchangeable. One cannot be certain of remaining human forever. If, before death, a single thought of anger or delusion arises, one may easily be reborn as a snake or another creature. For example, the woman betrayed in her previous life, dying in resentment, was reborn as a snake in this life, regardless of whether the grievance was justified or not. Therefore, the essential point is not to harbor hatred toward anyone, as doing so is extremely dangerous for oneself. Therefore, one must not harbor hatred toward anyone, as it brings grave consequences. As taught in the Sutra of Bequeathed Teachings, even if someone were to cut your body into pieces, do not give rise to anger. May all people realize the rare blessing of being born human and diligently practice the Dharma, not wasting this precious opportunity.